The roads of Aldor no longer feel unfamiliar. Every contract completed, every ruined fort reclaimed, every village left a little safer. Without realizing it, Jorgrim has spent months fighting for people whose names he may never know. Not because anyone asked him to, because someone had to. Fort Etbert was proof of how far he had come. He left its walls without a single wound. Still, victory carries its own cost. His armor, faithful through countless battles, could endure no longer. The treasures recovered from the Tier 4 dungeons became something far more valuable than gold. They became another chance, a stronger set of armor, supplies for longer expeditions, everything needed for the road ahead.
Then they returned to Rotten Willow. One last contract remained, a forgotten proselyte hideout hidden beneath the marshes. A small task, one final loose end before facing the hunt that had lingered over every conversation, every preparation, every mile traveled. Jorgrim did not speak of it. He didn't need to. Some battles announce themselves long before the first blow is struck. This was merely the last step before one of them. The new armor fit Jorgrim better than he expected. It was lighter, more responsive. It moved with him instead of against him. His counters came more naturally, yet it sacrificed none of the protection he had learned to rely on. Aldor surprised him once again. Even its armor carried a philosophy of its own. Different from Fjall, not better, just different. And for a man who had begun to enjoy the rhythm of a good duel, it felt right. The duels came one after another, but so did Jorgrim's answers. Each strike landed with greater purpose. Each counter carried more weight. The proselytes were no longer facing the raider who had first arrived in Aldor. They faced a warrior who understood these lands, who understood their enemies, who had learned to fight the battles Aldor demanded. He had adapted, not by abandoning Fjall, but by carrying its traditions into a different world. The Berserker's fury remained. It had simply learned when to be unleashed. The first floor was silent. Nothing remained standing. Jorgrim descended the stairs without hesitation. The leader was still below, and so were those who had chosen to follow him. Today, none of them would leave this place alive. His axes had already delivered their judgment. They only had to finish it. The floor below offered no easier path. More proselytes stood between Jorgrim and their leader. He welcomed it. The duels no longer felt like obstacles. They sharpened him. He hadn't eaten since arriving in Rotten Willow. At some point, he had simply stopped thinking about it. With every fight, hunger faded into the background. His mind was elsewhere. On the road he now protected. On the battles still ahead.
At last, the final chamber. His eyes studied the room before his axes did. The exits, the walls, the ground where the battle would be decided. One of his axes crashed into an iron cage. Steel echoed through the chamber. Footsteps answered. They had come looking for him. Most warriors fall when they are surrounded. Jorgrim had become the exception. His style was no longer about avoiding pressure. It was about enduring it. Every enemy that closed the circle believed they were taking away his options. Instead, they were giving him more. Every swing, every counter, every opening, someone would pay for it. The closer they stood, the harder his axes answered. The remaining proselytes offered little resistance. Without their leader, the battle was already over. Jorgrim finished what he had started and returned to the caravan. The final Tier 4 dungeon was behind him. Now, only one objective remained. The cave Alkri had spoken of, a place where an old acquaintance, an alchemist, had entered and never returned. Alkri believed the cave had claimed him. Whatever waited inside was unlike anything they had faced before. But there was hope. Jorgrim had gathered every ingredient Alkri had requested. For hours, the old alchemist worked in silence. Fire, glass, strange scents filling the camp. When the work was finally done, he placed a single vial into Jorgrim's hand. Everything was ready. The caravan broke camp. Their destination had been waiting for a long time. Jorgrim left nothing to chance. He checked his gear one last time, ate until hunger was no longer a concern, even spent some time sparring with Leaf before they departed. Not because he feared what lay ahead, because he respected it. Then he walked toward the cave. Whatever waited inside was no ordinary beast. It stood as tall as the ancient troll. But that was where the similarities ended. This creature was older, stranger. Its claws were deadly, its strength overwhelming. And unlike anything Jorgrim had faced before, it wielded arcane magic. He didn't know any of that, but years of surviving impossible battles had taught him to trust his instincts. This time, they had prepared him well. Jorgrim didn't rush in. Not this time. He studied the beast, every movement, every step, every opening that appeared and disappeared. Charging blindly would only lead to death. So he kept moving, avoiding each strike while searching for the ground where he wanted the battle to unfold. He had never feared trading blows.
not when he chose the exchange. That was his way. The Manticore would test it, but it would not change it. Jorgrim could stand his ground. He had the endurance to weather blow after blow, and every wound only fed the warrior within him. The deeper the pain, the stronger his strikes became. He only needed to know when to give ground, when to breathe, when to prepare for the next exchange. Because when he stepped forward again, his axes would answer with even greater force. That was his thirst for battle, a fury tempered by experience. And there was something new. For most of his journey, Jorgrim recovered after the fighting was over. Now he could recover in the middle of it. Every exchange of blows became another chance to endure. Another chance to keep fighting. Another reminder that the Berserker traditions of Fjall were never just about surviving pain. They were about drawing strength from it. Even so, the beast refused to fall. It pushed Jorgrim harder than anything he had faced before. More than once, it placed him in situations where a single mistake could have ended everything. But his instincts kept him alive. His endurance kept him standing. For now, he was controlling the battle, reading the beast, choosing his moments, finding the balance between aggression and survival. But the creature had more than strength. It had tricks, and sometimes, following its rhythm was far harder than it appeared. Perhaps this time, Jorgrim had pushed too far. The damage he had dealt was devastating. The Manticore was wounded badly. But the question remained, had it been worth the price? Now he had to recover, to hold his ground, to find his rhythm again before the beast could take control. But the creature was not the same either. It had taken just as much punishment. Two warriors refusing to fall. Two forces pushed to their limit. A battle beyond contracts, beyond gold. A true test of everything Jorgrim had become. And we were there to witness it. The beast was close to falling. Jorgrim had been so focused on the fight that for a moment he had forgotten about the elixir. The creature had consumed the alchemist, and the only way to save him was to use the elixir on the weakened beast itself. So Jorgrim endured a little longer. He waited, watched, found the right moment. He stepped forward only when he was certain. No hesitation, no mistake. The elixir was used, and everything went silent. The battle was over. Jorgrim had won his duel, and he had saved the alchemist. For the first time in a long time, everything had meaning. Not because he had changed who he was, but because he had found a way to contribute with what he knew. His strength, his experience, his ability to fight. And with every battle, he earned his place in Aldor a little more. When he returned to the camp, Jorgrim did not waste time. The battle was over. The mission was complete. Now there was only one thing left to do: recover. His body had endured more than it should have. The next chapter could wait. Whatever came after this would be faced another day.